The moment everything fell apart was the moment I finally started paying attention. We don't talk enough about how grief can crack you open so wide that light actually gets in. It started with a phone call, the kind that rewires your entire operating system in under 30 seconds. And suddenly, all the noise you'd been prioritizing, the meetings, the scrolling, the manufactured urgency of everyday life went completely silent. The trigger wasn't poetic or cinematic the way loss looks in movies. It was mundane and brutal all at once, a Tuesday, bad lighting, cold coffee, and a world that kept spinning anyway. Here's what nobody tells you about grief. It doesn't just take things away, it also does a ruthless audit of everything you thought mattered. Think of it like a forest fire, devastating on the surface, but underneath, the soil becomes extraordinarily fertile. We tend to romanticize gratitude like it's some gentle morning yoga practice, but real gratitude, the kind born from loss, is forged under pressure, like a diamond. It doesn't arrive with soft music. It arrives gasping, a little angry, and completely unannounced. The first thing I felt grateful for was embarrassingly simple. Other people. Not grand gestures, not wisdom, just someone sitting nearby without needing to fix anything. Studies show that social connection is one of the strongest predictors of resilience. But in that season, I didn't need a statistic. I needed a friend who showed up with food they knew I wouldn't eat. That act, small and imperfect, became the first brick in rebuilding something I didn't even know had collapsed. Psychologists call it post-traumatic growth, the counterintuitive phenomenon where suffering doesn't just scar you, it sometimes upgrades you. It sounds almost insulting when you're in the thick of it, like being told your house fire was actually a great renovation opportunity. But here's the historical pattern worth noting. Across cultures, across centuries, across every grief memoir ever written, the ones who come out the other side tend to share one common thread. They found something, however small, to anchor themselves to daily. The Stoics called it times amor fati, loving what is. And Viktor Frankl called it meaning making. And your grandmother probably called it just getting up and making the bed. The misconception we need to demolish right now is that gratitude means pretending things are fine. Gratitude and grief are not opponents. They're roommates, sometimes uncomfortably sharing the same small apartment. The daily practices that kept gratitude alive weren't glamorous. 3 things written by hand each morning, a deliberate pause before the first complaint of the day, and 1 honest conversation per week where I didn't perform okayness. These aren't hacks, they're discipline. And discipline is just love made into a habit. What's absurdly ironic is that the culture selling us productivity and optimization forgot to mention that sitting still with your pain is one of the highest yield investments you will ever make. Grief, processed intentionally, pays dividends in empathy, clarity, and a recalibrated sense of what's actually worth your finite energy. We romanticize the breakthrough moment, the aha, the sunrise after the storm. But the real work happened on the unremarkable Wednesdays when gratitude felt like a lie I chose to practice anyway. That's the part the highlight reels skip, the unglamorous repetition of choosing perspective when perspective feels like a luxury. Here's the philosophical bottom line. You don't wait to feel grateful before practicing gratitude, just like you don't wait to feel brave before acting courageous. The feeling follows the practice, not the other way around. And if you're in it right now, sitting with a loss that still feels too fresh to reframe, know this, you don't have to find the silver lining today. You just have to find the next small thing that reminds you you're still here, and that's enough. Grief will always be part of the story, but it doesn't have to be the narrator. You get to decide, slowly and imperfectly, what voice takes over. If any part of this resonated with you, subscribe and check out all our other topics.